strap. Gerald Muse versus Damion Nelson. This is Combat FC.
What's up, guys? I'm Jerry Muse. I'm the super soldier of Somerville. You might know me as Captain America.
My name is Damion Dynamite Nelson from Jamaica, born and raised. Currently live in New York City.
You know, I try to obviously bring in a good fight. I try to make it entertaining. And sometimes I might throw some, smart tactics out the window just to get a flashy finish. But it's ultimately a bigger win.
What I know about my opponent is that he's Captain America. You know, he's funky off the ground, try to do, weird or unorthodox moves.
He's a really good boxer, very hard to take down, athletic guy. He's also very calculated martial artist. He's very respectful.
Do I think I'm gonna win? I know I'm gonna win. Captain America, you're going down.
Making his way to the blue corner, Damion Nelson.
With the flag of his native Jamaica, Damion Nelson. Set for pro MMA fight number 10 and his first professional title fight. Nelson has fought once in PFL. In our fighter meeting, Damion Nelson said, I am really focused in my training on proper pacing for a 5-round fight. Nelson said, I want to showcase control and I want to showcase composure. Nelson said, I'm going to keep smartly assessing my opponent, Gerald Muse. I'm going to throw a lot of quick feints. I'm going to be extremely precise with my punches. Of his opponent, this fight for the inaugural Combat FC 145-pound championship, Gerald Muse, Damion Nelson said, I'm ready for a fast and aggressive start from Muse. I believe he will continually looking to take this fight to the ground. I have to be ready. Nelson said, if I'm in bottom position, I am going to work immediately back to my feet. I do not want to play close guard. I do not want to play half guard. Nelson said, if I'm in top position, I feel that I will surprise Muse with my grappling acumen. On the feet, Nelson said, jabs to set up my power punches.
And making his way to the red corner, Gerald Muse.
Gerald Muse, 6-0 in his pro MMA career, 5 of those victories by way of submission. 2 twister submissions, 1 submission by Eminari roll. In those 6 bouts, Gerald Muse has never gone past 2 rounds.
I don't know, if it was me, I'd be more nervous about getting this routine down, right?
Somewhere, and I'm not sure where, Jason Mayhem Miller and Shoney Carter are probably smiling at this walkout from Gerald Muse.
It's funny, I just rewatched one of those walkouts of Mayhem. It's the best.
Gerald Muse told us in our fighter meeting, I want to utilize excellent tactical awareness. On the feet, I'm going to stay long off of kicks. Muse said, I believe that my kicks can negate the power punches of Damion Nelson. Muse said, I want to be patient, but then get this fight to the ground and pound, not to get the TKO, but to open up submissions. And Muse has a very creative submission game. Muse said, make no mistake, I will be hunting for the twister, which will be my 3rd professional MMA victory by way of twister submission.
Yeah, he's got 2 twister wins, and he's got that. I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Eminari roll into a heel hook and finish. I do that every time.
Muse also told us in our fighter meeting, I absolutely cannot get stuck into a boxing rhythm trying to outbox Damion Nelson. I have to dictate range. I have to dictate tempo in this fight. Ultimately, I have to take this fight to the ground where I believe that I can dominate Damion Nelson with my submission game.
I feel like these guys couldn't be any more different.
Rico, you have trained with Gerald Muse, and you know the creativity in his submission game.
Yeah, for sure. You know, he's definitely the outside the box type of guy. You know what I mean? He's a thinker. You know, all this stuff, all this flashing he's doing, you know, he likes to have fun. Maybe it's a way of like keeping him calm and composed and whatnot. But you know, he's a strategist. He's a very, you know, well-rounded, smart fighter. And Nelson, after his last performance, man, with beating Don Shanis, that was super impressive. That's why I'm so excited about this fight. You know, completely, you know, that classic, on paper, grappler versus striker.
This is our feature fight of the evening for the inaugural Combat FC featherweight title, scheduled for 5 rounds. Gerald Muse versus Damion Nelson.
All right, well, we got the undefeated Gerald Muse. And the reach, just a little bit of a reach advantage in his favor as well. Other than that, pretty much the same height and weight.
To get our first of 3 consecutive title fights started here at Combat FC 7, we send it back into the cage with Ramiro Torres.
Ladies and gentlemen, this contest is scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds and is for the Combat FC Featherweight Championship. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner from Long Island, New York, by way of Jamaica. He trains out of Law MMA and weighs 145 pounds. With a record of 5-4, it is Damion the Dynamite Nelson. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner from Boston, Massachusetts. He trains out of Sit Yacht Tom, weighs 144 pounds, and is 6-0. This is Captain America, Gerald Muse. And our referee, Kevin McDonald.
This fight feels like something out of the Art Davie mid-1990s era of the UFC. The grappler Gerald Muse versus the striker Damion Nelson. It's not quite that simple, but it very nearly is.
I'm so curious to see what happens in the first, like, 30 seconds.
Round number 1. American flag trunks for Gerald Muse. Blue and black trunks for Damion Nelson. Kick attempt from Muse. Feint on the level change. Feint on the entry from Muse. Hand from Nelson.
In Nelson's last performance, his hands were extremely sharp in boxing range.
He's staying on the outside. Check of the kick by Nelson.
And that was Muse's plan. His plan was to not be in boxing range, right? He wanted to be on the outside, mixing up hands to land kicks, some teeps, see him doing the oblique kick, all different types of, you know, strikes to make him think and set up other shots.
Again, Muse said, I believe that I can negate the hard punches of Nelson with my kicks from the outside. And now we're seeing kicks from the outside. There's the right hand from Nelson on the entry. And a kick off the mark from Muse.
Another thing Muse was saying, too, is that he's coming down in weight, and he thought that he was going to have a big advantage in strength and size once it did get to the punch.
Again, there's the right hand. Circling out.
Nelson throws some heat, though.
Side high kick from Muse. High on the thigh. Crouch stance from Muse. Up kick from Nelson, not there. 3:30 remaining, round number 1. Can't just off the mark from Gerald Muse.
George St. Pierre lead Superman punch.
Muse talked to us about tactical awareness. We're seeing tactical awareness from both Muse and Nelson to start this title fight. First full takedown attempt from Muse, negated by Nelson. Nelson with a check left hook. To the body. A kick blocked on the elbow. High inside kick that time from Damion Nelson. Definitely blocking the head kick. Jab to the body. Switch kick attempt. Head kick again blocked. 2:45 remaining, round number 1. Again, Rico, Nelson talked to us about being very patient, being smart. He said proper pacing for this 5-round fight, the first scheduled 5-rounder of his career. Nearing the hips now is Damion Nelson of Gerald Muse. He's again trying to throw that high kick. Now the switch kick attempt.
Yeah, Nelson doesn't have, he was saying he doesn't have to rush right here. You know, he's just being composed. You know, he's more of like that, you know, tactical boxer. He's trying to get into that range and find his opening. Right.
Combination. Oh my God. For the takedown. Big shots down landed by Damion Nelson.
Yeah, that was impressive.
Nelson, you see, not diving into the guard of Gerald Muse.
Yeah.
Respectful of Muse's submission game, keeping it standing.
And that's the thing, like, you know, that's can help him from, you know, getting crashed and big shots landing ground pound. Now he's back to his feet.
Almost a reverse rolling thunder kick from Gerald Muse. Again blocked by Nelson. He's continuing to throw those head kicks.
Yeah, I'd love to see him throw like, you know, 1-2-1 head kick or one like something like, you know, high-low. He's throwing it kind of a little bit too naked. Like I want to see some hands set up, then throw it.
And the kick. More naked kicks coming from Gerald Muse.
So when he's throwing him like that, I think he's just trying to keep the range.
Heavy feint from Damion Nelson.
He's keeping Nelson at bay with those kicks. He's not really necessarily looking for like big power shots. It's more just, you know, stop him from being able to punch and not be able to get into boxing range.
That kick landed to the body from Nelson. Late here in round number 1 with 40 seconds remaining in the opening round. To the clinch. Heavy front shoulder, right shoulder from Damion Nelson. Good turn off of the fence from Muse. Yeah, now looking for the single leg.
And this is where Nelson has improved so much. You know, he's been doing a lot of wrestling work off the cage. You know, and as he said, it was a big focus of his camp, especially for this fight.
Just looking for the far side ankle pick, couldn't find it. Knee to the body. Turn right back from Nelson and turn once more from Muse.
That knee, I think, did a little damage right there.
Elbow strikes, now the wrist control. That was clever from Nelson. The switch. That ends round number 1.
Good first round.
Thus far here, Combat FC 7, live from Boston on UFC Fight Pass. All first round finishes through our opening fights of the evening. Our first round number 2. Tonight's judges have been assigned by the Massachusetts Athletic Commission.
Yeah, see, Nelson did a great job catching that kick and swinging it out, and then finishing with some big shots and just tossing Jerry down and getting him off balance and really pushing those hooks in that boxing position. Really strong right there.
To the corner of the Jamaican from St. Catherine, Damion Nelson. Seconds out called. Well, Rico, I have seen cornermen wear suits and ties. I have never seen a corner man. We assume that's a man. It could be a corner woman in a Spider-Man outfit.
Yeah, this is true.
We're not sure of the identity.
Actually, who else was it? I think it was Mapasette Bellator had come out with the costumes.
Round number 2. The oblique kick attempts from Gerald Muse. Switch kick attempt, pulled back mid-flight. Then Muse thinking switch kick. So the winner goes the inaugural Combat FC featherweight title.
See, I like that a little bit better. He threw that, you know, a couple of strikes with his hands. He's just going to get there a little bit closer to his feet.
Check of that kick by Damion Nelson. Nelson showing his patience, switching stances. From southpaw now into orthodox. You see them measuring from Gerald Muse. And the head kick. Muse looks spinning back fist, couldn't find it. Calf kick from Muse, looking for the entry. Spinning back kick from Gerald Muse.
Yeah, so he threw that calf kick. Especially, I think he was southpaw. It'd be nice if he's southpaw. He does throw a little pendulum kick, land that to that calf. It'll be easier for him to land it clean without, taking a big shot across. You know what I mean? You're angled out of the way. You're in less danger rather than throwing it from the orthodox stance.
Inside kick from Muse. Hard outside kick from Damion Nelson. Rico, we're seeing the composure on the feet of Damion Nelson.
Yeah, and in the corner he looked, he wasn't even really breathing heavy. This is like a huge part of his, him getting better and everywhere, He's very, very composed. Just like in the last fight against Don Shamus, another more of a heavy wrestler, really.
Kick caught, big right hand, now a knee to the body. Tomahawk elbow landed by Nelson.
He's bringing him right back to the feet.
Nelson did not want to engage on the ground. I believe that was an Imanari roll attempt there from Gerald Muse.
Way too far out this time.
Again, you see Nelson telling Muse to stand up. We talked about the mid-90s at the start of this fight. It's not the mid-90s anymore, of course. If your opponent does not want to engage you on the ground, the referee will tell you to stand up, just as you saw happen to Gerald Muse there by referee Kevin McDonald.
You can see the redness on Muse's body. Those knees were landing really clean. I think that's starting to wear and zap him out a little bit. But Nelson doesn't rush. He just keeps on charging forward, staying composed, throwing his fakes, working off the jab to set up his big shots.
2:15 remaining, round number 2. Right hand getting through from Damion Nelson on the left hand. Forward pressure now from Nelson, hard on the fake to the body, outside kick. He's tipping his head, looking for the entry, couldn't find it.
Thought he was going to fly right under Joe Cavallero.
Nelson just missed with the rear right uppercut, lands with that right hook. And this around the nose of Gerald Muse. 1:45 remaining, round 2. Overhand right, left hand. Another landed for Muse. Ordered that check left hook. Nelson switching back to southpaw. Now switching back to ortho as he comes forward. Stiff jab and a jab to the body. See the fluidity, the switch of stances for Damion Nelson. The feint on the switch came from Gerald Muse. Nelson moving forward to the mid-range. High check.
Very good check.
We're seeing methodical walk-down pressure from Damion Nelson to this point in the fight.
And this is where he can get real dangerous because he has that quick, feint, make you bite on it, and then he goes.
Left hand, this is from Muse. It's the body kick. Leg kick attempt from Muse. Again, spinning back kick off the mark.
Yeah, the big thing that is really, Nelson's hand speed is just
Nelson on the duck under from the left hook. Overhand right. 30 seconds remaining.
nice leg kick by Muse.
Big right hand. Hip cut. He's off balance. On the fence. Spinning back fist.
That was so close to. Looked like it grazed him.
He's resetting on the outside on the shuffle step. Walk forward pressure again from Damion Nelson. Final seconds, round number 2. Nelson back to his feet, off balance. There is the bell. Next stop.
Another great round. Solid fight. Now I'm curious who's under the Spider-Man costume. Zeke. second time Nelson catches that, but instead of throwing a kick, he throws that, returns with a overhand and the short elbow. Oh. Says, nope, back to the feet where I'm trying to lead the dance. That spinning back elbow just missed. It would have been a big shot because he loaded up for that.
Well, famously or perhaps infamously in Pride, Dos Caras Jr. wore a mask when he was knocked out with a head kick by Mirko Krokop. We're seeing a Spider-Man mask in the corner of Gerald Muse here in this fight for the first ever Combat FC Featherweight Championship. We found out who Dos Caras Jr. was. It was Alberto Del Rios. We don't know the identity of the masked Spider-Man costume corner person. Round 3. Nelson adjusting his hair. Gerald Muse sportingly paused.
Now, tell me if I'm wrong. This is the first time both of these guys have been in a 5-round fight, correct?
First scheduled 5-rounder for both men, and for Muse, who entered 6-0, this is his first ever round number 3. Oh. 6 of his wins by way of finish within the opening 2 rounds. 5 of those by way of submission. There's been virtually no sequences on the ground for Gerald Muse to this point in the fight. It's been almost all standing, which of course is what Damion Nelson wanted.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen it over the past couple fights that Nelson's had. He's improved so much on his takedown defense, and he always believes in his boxing. And you know, why wouldn't you when you're usually winning those exchanges? You know, and his takedown defense has really just gotten so much better, and he's improving everywhere. Both of them are. It's going to be interesting if it goes to the championship rounds.
These are 2 natural-born finishers. Muse on the ground, Nelson on the feet. Side kick from Muse. The jab. The range fighter who's actually pointing down.
He's talking to him. I don't know what he's saying. He's saying something.
Could be diversionary. Could be a bluff on him to take you down.
Yeah. Is that what he was saying?
McDonald telling Gerald Muse, watch your fingers in the cage. Overhook, held defensively and smartly by Damion Nelson. Chest to chest now, Gerald Muse. Good roll under with his head. Smart pressure. Hands from Gerald Muse, chest to chest. Still held by Damion Nelson with 2:45 remaining round 3. But there is the separation from Kevin McDonald. Kevin McDonald telling Gerald Muse, you cannot engage with your fingers into the links of the cage. You can put your fingers through, you cannot legally grasp. That was the reason for the separation. That was a bit awkward. It looked as though they were coming together sportingly. Nelson. 30 remaining round 3.
They decided to get a little chippy there.
Big head kick right to Damion Nelson. And now time called by Kevin McDonald. The issue is the wrap on the glove.
Equipment. You got tape, Rick? White tape? Anyone got electric tape?
Kevin McDonald asking for tape. That's the reason that time has been called here in round number 3. It's the wrapping of Muse's glove.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
When that kick landed, you see the glove tape coming off on the right glove of Gerald Muse.
Yeah, it just popped right off when he landed that head kick.
Our good friend, the outstanding referee Kevin McDonald, one of the best in all of pro MMA, telling me he gave Muse a hard warning on the fence grab, which in referee speak means next time that Muse commits that infraction, if there is a next time, that's a 1-point deduction.
Absolutely.
Donald told us, he certainly told Gerald Muse, time in. She resolved on the light glove tape. Gerald Muse, the body kick blocked by Damion Nelson. 1:35 remaining round 3. Question mark kick from Nelson. Outside kick partially caught right hand. You can really see Nelson trying to time these Muse kicks and then land. Spinning back elbow attempt from Muse. We've talked about the creativity in Muse's ground game. Rolling through there. Nothing, and that draws boos from this Boston crowd.
That's the only problem with that, is if the guys hit to it when you roll and you back out, just, you know, you get a little bit of that. But if you hit it, you're a hero, you know?
We're seeing creativity in the striking game of Muse as well. What we're seeing in the striking game of Damion Nelson is absolute poise and precision on that head kick.
Yeah, Muse has some decent kicks. It just, I want to see him set him up a little bit more with his hands, and they'll probably land more.
Overhook again, held by Damion Nelson. Front shoulder pressure, slight level change for Gerald Muse. 60 seconds remaining round 3. Good head positioning from Muse. Turn from Nelson on the push-off.
Yeah, Nelson just looked at me and said, yo, you hit me? I'm going to hook him up.
Overhand right.
Let's see if he turns up the volume right here.
Taking himself fully off balance with that jab. Late here in round number 3. The level change from Muse. The kick not getting through.
It's just out of range.
There's the left hook. That landed in range for Damion Nelson.
And that's what it is. I think he's just nervous.
Getting in a box and ran. Oh, saved by the bell, right? There is the bell. We moved to the championship round.
That was really close. And I'm looking into Jerry right now, and he's still with it, but he's hurting, man. That was a hell of a shot. That was clean. And Nelson, he looked over at us when he was up against the cage over here and said, get ready. I'm about to knock him out, you know? And he tried. It's very close. Jerry, you really just got to focus on your breathing, clearing your mind, and trying to get as much oxygen as you can. High kicks makes the glove pop. We got a quick stop. There it is again. And then there's that 1-2, and that looked like it landed right around the air where it can really mess up with your equilibrium.
Headed to the championship rounds. Round number 4 upon us. Muse already deeper than he's ever gone in a fight when he went to round 3. Obviously, then his first round 4, the first career round number 4 for Damion Nelson.
Now we got a doctor taking a peek at Muse.
The outstanding Dr. Lou Durkin assessing the jaw of Gerald Muse. Clearance from Dr. Durkin. Kevin McDonald set to start round number 4. Number 4 underway. The fighters immediately coming to the center of the cage. Double jab from Damion Nelson. Jab attempt. Again, getting through from Nelson. Kick from Muse.
Just got to be careful of stepping through like that when Nelson's loaded up with that cross.
Almost a Philly shell now for Damion Nelson.
Muse stepped through with that low kick and stayed on the same side. Got to be careful there. Ooh, a slip.
There's the slip off balance was Damion Nelson. Balance perhaps moisture on the cage, resetting.
You can tell Nelson's an athlete, you know, like every time he's a little bit out of position, he can get right back real quick.
Walk forward punches to Gerald Muse. Big right hand on the inside. Half-time club now held by Damion Nelson. Side kick from Muse.
Oh, nice oblique kick. Oh, great.
Good left hand.
Getting creative now.
The Philly shell in the orthodox stance, now switching southpaw. Damion Nelson switching right back to ortho. 35 remaining round 4. To try to come forward. He's just simply not been able to hit his takedowns, implement his ground game in this fight. Left hand getting through.
You know, he's coming straight forward and straight back a lot of the time. It's going to be Nelson's utilizing his angles a little bit better. So he's always lateral back and forth, up, and, all these different angles, creating ways to get in and land his strikes, and also ways to get away from punches and kicks.
1-1-2 from Nelson. And kick off the mark again. Muse is continually thrown, making kicks, but Muse told us he would throw kicks from the outside. An effort he felt would negate the hard punches of Damion Nelson.
Yeah, it's when he starts to get a little bit pressured, it's a way to keep him on the outside because he doesn't want to be sitting in that boxing range. He doesn't want to get stuck there, which obviously benefits Nelson.
Talking about creativity in the striking of Muse. We're seeing that creativity now, especially in round 4 from Nelson. Popping that side kick. The jabs and the hook jabs from Damion Nelson.
Yeah, it's looking like he's got a little swag going right now. He's trying to start setting something up.
2:15 remaining, round number 4. The head kick off the mark from Gerald Muse.
Yeah, I'd like to see him throw that jab and get him to slip his head to land that head kick rather than throw it.
There was the check left hook landed by Damion Nelson. He's reaching forward. Side kick. High volume kicks continue from Gerald Muse, 2 in sequence. Muse reaching, trying to hit the takedown, resetting on the outside.
Yeah, Jerry's really, see it on his face, he's wearing those shots.
Kick that was definitely blocked by Muse. 1:25 remaining round 4. From the level change from Damion Nelson.
Jab.
On the right hand. See the smear of blood across the face of Gerald Muse. The right hand thrown by Muse. On the head kick. That was nicely blocked by Muse. 55 seconds remaining round 4.
Split that jab.
Walk forward pressure from the Jamaican Damion Nelson. It's the American from here in Boston, Gerald Muse.
He was saying too, he really wants to start getting to a position where he has Muse working off that back foot, and it's starting to happen now in these championship rounds with all this, energy's being expended. Let's see if he can continue with that.
Hard for the takedown now, Gerald Muse. Wide stance, strong posture from Damion Nelson against the fence. Overhook again from Damion Nelson. He has defensively used that overhook very well throughout this fight. Final seconds, round number 4. He's continuing to look for the takedown.
Good job swimming in to get that under.
Knee to the cup, detected by referee Kevin McDonald. Time called. Very late stages here in round number 4. 5 minutes on the timeout clock. It was the knee and then the shin that slid through from Muse into the cup of Damion Nelson.
I think this is a really smart move by Nelson by not taking as much time. He seems like the fresher fighter.
Nelson had up to 5 minutes. Took about 15 seconds. There is the bell. We move to the 5th and final round.
Yeah, good job by Nelson getting off the cage, not letting himself get flattened out on the cage. Muse is digging, trying to go to the body. I like that oblique kick and that jab. His jab has been working the entire fight, and the longer it goes, the more damage it's doing.
See the heavy swelling in, around, and under the left eye of Gerald Muse. Big mouse that is formed.
Yeah, they're really going to start working that in swell. But you can clearly see out of his eyes, it's not a huge mouse, just, you know, just taking some damage. Nelson looks pretty fresh, though.
This were round 5 upcoming in a scheduled 12-rounder in pro boxing. This swelling might be an issue for Gerald Muse. Most likely will not be, as we're now set for the 5th and final round of this fight to crown the first ever Combat FC 145-pound titleist. Gerald Muse bouncing in his corner. Damion Nelson pacing in his corner. Kevin McDonald starts the 5th and final round. Tentative sporting touch of hands. To the naked kicks goes Gerald Muse. Good check. Rico Damion Nelson talked to us about proper pacing and training for this 5-round fight. He has used outstanding pacing as we are now in the 5th and final round. Kick from Muse. Kick again.
Yeah, he's done a great job as when he gets into the positions that he likes to be in, he's capitalizing. You know, anytime he gets a little bit of time in that boxing range, he's really, you know, doing damage with the punches and knees to the gut, and then he's getting out clean. I think his footwork is really starting to has been paying dividends.
Switch kick attempt again from Gerald Muse. Nelson has been very strong with his striking, but his striking defense has been really strong as well. Slips, pulls, constant movement.
Yeah, he knows how to. He doesn't over move. He doesn't. You know, everything is real tight. Everything is clean. He's not wasting energy or wasting movement. And now we're in the championship rounds of the 5th. 3 minutes left in the fight after the 5th round. It's like over time that really makes a big difference.
Hard left hand getting through from Damion Nelson. Walk down pressure from Nelson. Talked about this fight at the beginning, feeling like an old school Art Davie era UFC mid-90s grappler versus striker. Muse the grappler, Nelson the striker. This has been virtually all on the feet, all striking. Exactly what Damion Nelson wanted, Rico.
Yeah, I think that last jab busted Muse's nose pretty damn good.
Side kick landing. Muse has just simply not been able to hit his takedowns. Twice he's rolled for the Imanari roll. Neither time he was able to find it. Switch kick again. Staying composed on the outside. There's that hook jab.
Yeah, right on the nose again, right on the button. And the thing that's scary about that is, you really shatter your nose, you stop breathing out of your mouth. Your chin starts opening up, you get clipped in the chin. You're just gonna really be careful here.
20 remaining, 5th and final round. Hard right hand. Nelson sat down on that right hand.
It looked like it was at the end. He turned it over and it was like elbows. I think it was fast. I think he just split his lip on it.
Damion Nelson feeling as though he is in full control of this fight. Talking to Gerald Muse as he is coming forward. There's the snap jab. Muse on the back pedal, circling out. Step in elbow from Damion Nelson. 150 remaining, 5th and final round.
Muse is tough as nails, man. He's still in it, still going for it. He's still talking to Nelson. Oh, nice shot. Still doing everything he can to put him out, but Nelson's just got so much pep in his step. He's being creative.
Then the side kick.
Finally in his realm. This is like he's just dancing out there now.
The mirroring of the hips. No rush from Damion Nelson.
Jerry's still going for it, man. You gotta give it to him.
Hard to the inside comes Muse. On the left hand, left to the body. Elbow just off the mark from Nelson.
Went high, went low, framed out, and let go, and was going for that short elbow and just missed.
Just in front of our commentary position, and Nelson is talking to Muse.
He's getting nasty, man. He's getting gritty. He's going to try to knock him out right here, I think.
See the reaching for the takedown from Muse, just not there. On the overhook. Big knee, that was legal.
Was he done?
Kevin McDonald not seeing it as such, deeming it an illegal knee.
So close.
Do you guys have a replay?
Yeah, we're going to see.
Right here. Yeah, it's illegal.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking to see where the knee is.
Kevin McDonald, a referee, is looking at the video screen, seeing the replay that we're watching, that you're watching live worldwide on UFC Fight Pass, to determine if Muse was grounded when Nelson landed that knee.
A big thing, too, is where it lands, I believe. You know what I mean?
I feel as though this is a theme perhaps in title fights.
Right?
The Great Combat FC promotion. Blood pouring from and across the face of Gerald Muse. So Damion Nelson throwing the knee. So two issues. One, was Muse grounded? And two, did Nelson land the knee on the head of Muse or on his upper body? There's Dr. Lou Durkin assessing Gerald Muse. 5 minutes on the injury timeout. Rico again, we will watch. So Muse is grounded there.
It's hard to tell from that angle, but it does look like it.
It's the right knee.
I can't see it from there either, but I mean, it's.
So we've answered the one question. Muse was definitely grounded. The other question, which looms very large now. We're deep into the fifth and final round of this fight for the inaugural Combat FC featherweight strap. Did Nelson land that right knee illegally on the head of Gerald Muse or legally to the upper body of Gerald Muse?
Fight's still going. You got up to 5 minutes.
Rico again, a look. So it's the overhook. Muse is grounded, both knees down. There is the right knee.
It's hard to tell if it's on like the neck or shoulder or if it clipped him on the chin. Like you can't, you know, it's hard to see. It really is. I mean, I don't want to say one way if I can't see it. It's tough. Yeah, it might have. It might have hit him on the chin. It's tough to completely. Yeah.
So Kevin McDonald has ended this fight.
Yeah.
And just off camera, off microphone, Kevin McDonald told me that this will be a technical decision.
Oh.
So what that means is that this round will be scored, and we will go to the judges' scorecards.
Yeah.
So rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4 are scored. Those scorecards have already been turned in. Partial round number 5 will be scored as well. So this will go down as a technical decision. We will have a winner to this fight. This is not a disqualification. This is just a slightly premature ending. Dr. Lou Durkin feeling that Gerald Muse cannot continue.
I mean, I feel like that we had both those angles, right? And you really couldn't tell if it hit on the chin or the neck or like right on the shoulder. It was really blocked off. It was hard to say, but I mean, how much time was left in that fight?
We were under 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm Kevin McDonald's biggest fan. He's a phenomenal referee. I've taken his MMA referee's training course. He's a good friend.
Yeah,
Kevin McDonald immediately asking for replay.
Yeah.
Our outstanding producer, director Thomas McDonald, giving us those 2 looks. There just simply was not a conclusive look. No fault to Thomas McDonald or our great crew.
He's always thorough. He's always has been.
So a technical decision upcoming. This is why, Rico, if you ever take a professional judges course for any combat sport. They will tell you always be ready to turn in your scorecard because you can have this, a partial round in which you must enter a score. So those judges' scorecards now being assessed at the official table from the Massachusetts Athletic Commission.
Those are the only two angles you could get because it was tough.
Kevin McDonald talking to our cage announcer, Ramiro Torres.
Hats off to both these guys, though, man.
Gerald Muse is an extremely talented fighter.
Man, tough as nails.
Entered 6-0, all 6 of those victories by way of finish within 2 rounds, 5 of those 6 by way of submission. Damion Nelson, though, implemented his game, kept it standing, stayed composed, smart entries, jabs, check hooks, hook jabs, very strong with his punches.
Yeah, his footwork was amazing too. You know, once he got comfortable, you know, he moved. He was moving a lot more laterally, in and out everywhere, cutting off the ring. And once he got into that boxing range, was just, you know, where he wanted to be and just did damage.
The 3 judges assigned by the Massachusetts Athletic Commission have had their scorecards tallied. Again, this partial round number 5 has been fully assessed, judged, and scored. Ramiro Torres is set. We go to it now.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to an unintentional foul, 4 minutes and 31 seconds into the 5th round, Gerald Muse was unable to continue the fight, so we're going to the judges' scorecards. And your winner, by a unanimous 49-45 decision, and new Combat FC featherweight champion, Damion the Dynamite Nelson.
All right, I'm here with your winner, Damion Nelson. Now, man, since the last time you fought here, right? I've been, paying attention to you. Everybody has, but your improvements, have been just incredible, right? You said in the fighter meeting, what you wanted to do and how you wanted to approach this fight, especially with all the unique, submissions and things that he brings to the table. And you had an answer for everything. And you're officially, the first, right? 145-pound Combat FC champion. How does it feel, man? I know you've been going through it. You put all the work in. And just tell me what this means to you.
First of all, man, I want to thank God. Without him, I couldn't get through this. What this means, man, it means a lot. As I said, a few fights ago, I was on the other side of the card, man, and it hurts. Didn't feel well at all. But I've put in the work. I have a solid team, man, and I couldn't do this without them. All my fucking thanks go to them as well, man. From my boxing coaches to the coaches at law, my corners, my manager, and my family, my wife. Yo, it's been a blessing. It's a hard 5 round. Jerry was tough, man. I wanted to stop the fight. I'm dead serious. I wanted to take him out, but we get a win regardless, and I'm thankful. Thanks to CFFC. Hey, we going up, man. Combat FC, I am so sorry. I'm just tired. We're going up, baby. And I want to go to the next level, man. I wanted to stop it tonight, but it didn't happen. But I'm good with the belt. Let's go.
Yeah, man, I'm probably, everybody in this building's probably super excited to see what's next for you, man. You know, after that last performance, you know, breaking down Don Chanis, a former UFC guy, you know, coming in here, having the performance you did against an incredibly tough, durable guy with a lot of dangerous submissions, and you executed your game plan perfectly, man. Congratulations, bro, and, you know, I'm impressed. I'm looking forward to what's next. Oh, sorry.
Thank you.
Give it up for your winner, Damion Nelson, guys, come on.
An illegal knee to the grounded Gerald Muse, ruled unintentional by referee Kevin McDonald, prematurely ends this fight in round number 5, but that round fully scored, so 49-45, 4 rounds to 1 across the board from the 3 Massachusetts judges. He is now the first ever Combat FC featherweight champion, victorious by way of technical decision, unanimous decision. Damion Nelson defeats Gerald Muse.